broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Kaufmann. Now, let the buzz begin!
There it is. Welcome to AfterBuzzTV.com, streaming live on YouTube for the Gotham After Show, Season 1, Episode 22, the season finale of Gotham.
Man, you said that really nicely. That was a lot of words
that
you had to get out.
Words
and it was all well said.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm Steve Kaufmann. That's at Steve Kaufmann, Kaufmann. I'm joined, as always.
Hi, I'm Monse Bolanos. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at my name, MonseBolanos.
And if you're going to tweet at either of us, use the hashtag ABTVGotham.
Yes.
Season finale of Gotham. Real quick, if you're listening to my voice on YouTube, like us, share, subscribe, all the fun things. Leave comments.
All of them. All the things.
Same thing if you're listening to us on iTunes. Same stuff. Like us, subscribe, review us. 5 stars is what we prefer. Mm-hmm. Same thing if you're listening to us on SoundCloud. That was the one I was stalling for. SoundCloud. And if we wound up on Stitcher, do the same thing. If you're listening to me, do all the things everyone else pleads you to do on whatever medium you're on.
Maybe tweet me what Stitcher is, and then I can join you guys on that one. Because I don't even know what that is.
I'm not sure if Stitcher's still around.
Cool.
I think
don't
SoundCloud.
tweet me about that.
It is. It is? Okay.
Thanks.
Then,
Thanks, Marissa.
So a lot happened.
Yeah.
I think we should start with Fish.
Let's start with Fish.
On a boat.
Fish on a boat. Literally, that's how the episode started. Fish on a boat.
Showed up on a boat. Ah, man.
And instantly, the first thing we saw was her and Selena.
Well, she shows up on a boat, and Selena is literally by a hobo fire.
Yeah.
Which, wow, I guess Selena's okay with just being a person in the street.
Yeah.
After that penthouse suite she lived in for ever.
Well, Barbara's gone cray, so we'll talk about that. So that's probably why she was at the hobo fire.
Fair enough. Where's Ivy?
Where is Ivy?
Was Ivy just in another room?
Probably.
That would be awesome.
The whole time she was just
Ivy just comes out of a closet, just like, hey guys,
what's the scuffle?
Is everybody safe now?
Wait, Fish. We're jumping to Barbara.
We're digressing.
Fish.
And then she just straight up tells Selena Kyle, it's a new day. Mm-hmm. And then we jump into everything. Penguin, one of Penguin's henchmen, or Maroni's henchmen, try to hit Falcone's car with a bazooka.
Right.
They succeed, but they don't get Falcone.
I thought that was Penguin that did it.
It could have been either way.
When he confessed, he was like, it's me. You're the reason you're in here. So I thought it was him and Butch.
That was Penguin confessing to why a war was happening.
Okay.
I think it was Maroni's people that tried to kill him with a bazooka.
Okay, that sounds
then he wound up in a hospital bed, and the cops pretty much gave an all clear. The corrupt cops were just, kill Falcone. Right. It's all over. We're going to let Maroni take over, which is not a good plan.
No, not at all.
And Gordon knows this, and Gordon is just like, no, Falcone needs
to kind of remain in power.
Falcone is the lesser of all the evils.
Right.
Because there's a very known thing in a lot of situations like this called the power vacuum. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing it in Iraq right now that if you just kill the leader and then leave, you create complete and utter anarchy. And usually the people who survive and thrive in complete and total anarchy are worse than whatever dictator you had just ousted. Right. So to kill Falcone is to create a power vacuum where Maroni fights with Fish fights with Penguin. They all fight each other.
Mm-hmm. But they still did, despite.
And Butch is there. Zaz is somewhere.
I wish we would have seen him.
I was curious what happened to Zaz.
Yeah. I wish we would have seen him. Because it seemed like everybody had their peoples behind them. Their crew. It seemed as though he would have been there.
And Boo 69Bs, that's how his name is. He was saying, didn't Fish get shot? Which, yes, the rat catcher shot Fish, but we're just jumping ahead.
Yeah.
She clearly had among her crew on that boat both a stylist from the next time we saw Selena Kyle and everyone else, and a doctor.
I mean, she looked good. I liked the shaved side of her head with like the spikes.
Oh, that was so good. Like,
that was real good. Like, I think I just found my Halloween costume to be Fish Mooney. That was
well
dope.
played.
That was dope.
Fish Mooney. Now, actually, I guess I'm just gonna tell both these stories simultaneously because they run into each other.
Oh,
Gordon decides he's gonna go and help save Falcone.
right.
Penguin and Butch are in with Falcone. Penguin comes in and is like, I'm gonna slit Falcone's throat. And then I just have to contend with Mooney, which I guess he can handle, thinks he can handle. And that's what he thinks that. And then I'll be
he
the
thinks
king
it's
of
that
Gotham.
simple. That, I take you down and now.
And first I'm like, oh, well, this is where Butch turns, because I've long said on this show that there's no way that Butch was actually brainwashed by Zaz. Turns out he was.
A little bit.
Turns out he was enough that he didn't stop. I thought for sure his allegiance was still to Falcone / Fish.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that his brain has been a little bit touched,
just
but
been
like with everyone, like he's just torn.
Yeah.
He doesn't know which side to follow.
Well, I think what it is he knows which side to follow, but there's a physical blockage in his brain, which means Zaz actually got to him.
Yeah, and then Penguin must have also done his damage.
A little bit.
Because Penguin was like, I'm, defend me, not necessarily.
Well, but that's what Zaz allegedly brainwashed Butch to do.
To defend Penguin?
To answer specifically to Penguin. That was Butch's reintroduction.
Yeah, that was so long ago, I barely remember. I remember the brainwashing, but I didn't remember it was specifically for Penguin.
Yes, it was specifically you follow Penguin.
Well, then I guess
I just didn't trust Zaz.
Zaz did a good job.
Yeah,
okay.
Zaz did a great job.
All right, I see you.
Because the only person stopping Penguin from killing Falcone was Gordon.
Yay, Gordon to the rescue.
Gordon to the rescue
again.
with an AK in an empty hospital.
Yeah, very like a apocalyptic zombie-ish.
That hospital was pretty old school.
Right?
Like, I'm pretty sure I saw some candy stripers.
That's how
in that hospital.
Rick Grimes?
Yes.
Grimes.
Yes.
That's how he found out about the world. It was like literally the same thing. Dead hospital, somebody walking around.
And pretty much everyone had abandoned this hospital because they knew, including the police, the fix was in. Penguin's gonna go kill Falcone. And then it's down to Penguin and Mooney, and that's how we're gonna do things. Gordon, who actually loves his city and wants to see his city do well, knows that killing Falcone creates a power vacuum, and then it'll be complete and utter anarchy when Mooney and Penguin fight each other in the streets. So Gordon comes in, tries to save the day. Locks Butch and Penguin to a radiator.
Yeah, he puts them under arrest.
And says, you're under arrest for attempted murder. Now I'm going to leave you here for Mooney's men to come and kill you. To which Penguin pleads, I'm under arrest, you can't do that, and you owe me a favor.
Yeah.
Which he just named two really good reasons to leave Penguin there.
Right, you even said that. You're like, even more so to leave him.
Like, that's the easiest way. Granted, he's a man of his word, and he's an honest man, and all this, but like... Let's be real.
He's a good man, but let's be real.
Let's be real.
He shouldn't have been a good man in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
and he should have just taken Butch with him. Like, can you imagine? Butch, I'm gonna take you.
I'm just gonna take you.
Penguin, though, you're gonna stay right.
You're gonna stay here. Mooney's gonna take you.
Yes.
He would have got out of there way sooner because they were with Falcone. Like, that whole debate with Falcone, like, that lasted a long enough time.
Yeah, I did.
That he could have actually gotten out. Then he decides, all right, I'm going to help. He calls Bullock, asks for that help. Steps back out with his AK, runs in the one Mooney goon who doesn't do anything.
Yeah. He's the one that just came out of jail the last episode or so. Yeah.
And then I guess 4 or 5 Mooney goons plus Commissioner Loeb all come out. And Commissioner Loeb gives him one more chance. Leave or die.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he's a good cop.
Yeah, he's Commissioner Loeb. Totally good cop.
Top notch.
And it's like, leave or die, and Gordon chooses die, I guess.
Or he chose, no, I'm going to take down all of you.
Six Mooney goons.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this rubric while we were watching it.
Yes.
One Gordon is worth 6 Mooney goons.
Yes.
I'm assuming Falcone goons are better than Mooney goons.
I would hope so.
By like 100%.
Yeah.
So one Gordon is also worth 3 Falcone goons.
So... what is the final ratio? Like 1 to 3 ish?
1 to 6 Mooney goons which I think a Mooney goon is probably 1.5 regular people. So that's like 9. So one Gordon is like 9 people.
Perfect.
It's
okay.
my math.
Is your
for
math.
Gotham citizens.
That makes perfect sense. Let's put a pin in that.
We'll put a pin in that.
We'll put a pin in that math. But, that entire scene was not the craziest scene in the episode.
No, it
Even
wasn't.
though it was ridiculous. Like, when you and I were watching it, we're like, okay, let's calm down, Gordon. You wouldn't really be taking down these 6 people.
We don't know his training. We don't know his background.
Even though I did love the scene after he threw
Oh,
away
the dual guns
with the
over
dual gun.
over the desk.
Yeah, that one. All right, I see you. I like that one.
I like Gordon. I like everything about that. I like that Bullock shows up and didn't have to help at all.
Yes.
Like that Gordon legitimately took out 6 dudes.
Yeah.
Was like,
pretty
I love my
impressive.
city that much.
Yeah.
I love my city that much that I'm going to take down six dudes, and then I'm a man of my word so much
Then I'm gonna save this.
that I'm going to save the crime boss who just happens to be the best of the worst. Mm-hmm. And then the dude who was trying to kill that crime boss and make my city awful,
Yeah.
and his henchmen. I got to take all these people in an ambulance. Mm-hmm. Mooney rolls up, tries to stop that ambulance. That ambulance keeps running. They run to what they believe is a safe house. Fish Mooney's at the safe house.
Right.
And Selena
He
Kyle.
does say, it's funny that he does say, anybody who knows this place is already dead.
Yeah,
He makes that.
because he thought Fish Mooney
Right, we all did. I
was
mean, not us, but
gone.
everybody thought. But it's just interesting that he says that, and then, oh, Fish.
Oh, well, Fish is in town. She'll know all about it.
She knows all about it.
And she did. And that got fun.
So we had her with Selena.
With Selena
And that one dude that I can't remember his name from when they were in the underground.
the suit guy.
The suit guy, yeah.
Suit guy. He may or may not have actually had a name.
He did. She called him some names.
Okay.
Him and like everybody else, basically her little army. With
Yeah.
it's her army, and then we have 4 guys hanging by their hands.
Yes, the 4 guys hanging by their hands: Penguin, Butch, Falcone, Gordon. 5 guys.
Butch is not hanging. She's already. She
You're
didn't
right.
put. Yeah,
You're
Butch
right.
is her.
Butch was her boo.
Yeah, it's her boo.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
so
4.
we just have 4. Then eventually we have 3 because she tells Bullock, "We're cool."
We're cool.
So then we eventually have 3, but then Mooney comes in with his army.
Yeah.
Right.
And the whole thing was, she said, I struck a deal with Mooney. I'll get all my own territories back, and I'll be his partner.
Yeah.
And Penguin from death merely says, I don't even remember. He pretty much says one sentence that sets them off.
Yeah.
From death, he flat out says, what do you think the arrangement will be
Right.
between you? To which Mooney says, she's no rival. She's an underboss. She goes, I'm no one's underboss.
Because an underboss takes orders.
An underboss takes order. No. He's like, well, babes.
Which
So
is even weirder. Like,
babe, actually, I could see someone saying babe.
she might have been okay with that.
Babe.
She was
wouldn't
upset.
have been okay with that.
She was upset with babes. Yeah, he calls her babes several times. Like, just poking at her.
Yep.
And as that whole scene was unraveling, I was like, Mooney's gonna get killed.
Yep.
Out of all of them, that's the one that made sense to be killed right then and there.
I saw it the other way.
Really? Because I was like, there's no way they're gonna kill
Only
Fish yet.
because the news was pretty inescapable that Jada Pinkett Smith is done this season.
Yes.
Which I was hearing a bit of that in the chat too, that we were all like, well, I'm pretty sure she's gonna die in the comic book way that everyone dies. But I'm pretty sure she's gonna die. So I honestly thought that scene, Mooney was gonna get the better of that exchange.
Okay.
And then we were just gonna get that dynamic of Falcone, Penguin, Mooney.
Yeah, I didn't think so because I just was like, there's no way that Falcone and Mooney can both stay alive right now.
Yeah.
One of them has to go.
Oh, yeah.
And it was also just because we were only like halfway through the episode. I was like, there's no way we're going to kill Fish right now. It was too early.
It was way
in
too
the
early.
episode.
But that would have been a way to...
That would have been.
That
That
would
would
have
have been
been
really intense.
But you kill Mooney.
We kill Mooney, and
Which-
it's all because of Penguin shaking Fish's tank.
Literally all he needed to do, like one sentence,
One sentence.
was enough to make Mooney show his true side
Right.
to Fish, who had the leverage in the debate or the discussion, that like Mooney just never had any respect for her.
Right.
And Penguin, being like the master manipulator he is, knew all of that and was able to make her kill Mooney.
Point blank.
Point blank. Bullock was let go, and he already knew that there was a knife in Falcone's sock. Got the knife from Falcone's sock, cut everybody loose, and then they get out of there. The three of them get in a car, drive away, and then Penguin goes somewhere, and then
No, they don't get in a car. Remember, they try to escape, but they end up in a truck. They don't drive away. They're hiding because they get found again.
Oh,
But
yes.
you're right. They do get in like some sort of truck or something.
they get in a car and they try to drive away.
Yeah, I don't even think they can drive. They're trying to hide. They're just trying to hide.
Yeah, you're right. They don't get in a truck, but they run out and they wind up in a shipping container.
Something. Yeah,
And then
container.
Kyle, who now has Selena Kyle, who's an underboss to Fish now.
Apparently.
Quick promotions in this organization.
Yeah.
She's like six people under her. Open up a shipping container, and then marches them back in.
Yeah.
To which, if I'm Fish Mooney, I should want to kill people sooner. At this point, like, okay, are they under? Is that Gordon? Can you kill him?
Can you just kill him as you walk closer?
I see him. I see. There's no. Like, we can kill them all right now.
Right now.
But that doesn't happen. That's what I'm remembering. Penguin comes out of nowhere with a gun bigger than himself. Shoots everybody down with that gun.
Yeah.
And then they get in a car and drive away.
Yes.
Yes. And for the purposes of what we're talking about, that's the last we see them.
Yeah.
Because then we're going to move on to where they go.
Okay.
Now, Penguin, Fish.
Oh, yes. I see what you're saying. Yes.
Fish runs up the stairs. Penguin runs up the stairs after her. They wind up on the roof. Epic
Which
battle.
I thought was Selena Kyle when he was chasing her. I was like,
Where
is
did
that
Selena
Fish?
Kyle go?
Yeah, but it wasn't Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
She just probably disappeared.
Same hairstyle.
Yeah, same hairstyle. They both had it up and
They both had it all.
So yeah, the
Gotham chic.
Gotham chic. Yeah.
I just coined it.
Yeah.
That's
Gotham chic.
going to be a thing on runways whenever runways happen.
on Gotham.
Gotham chic.
Exactly. But yeah, Fish runs up. Penguin wobbles up to her. Doesn't chase her. He's barely making it up those stairs.
Well, he's not much of an athlete. But he and Fish have this really epic battle on the roof. They wind up
Epic.
choking each other out.
Yeah.
Butch shows up, points the gun, and he cannot decide. And this is, for me, truly the first moment I realized that Zaz had actually brainwashed him.
Yes, 100%.
Because up until then, I was like, well, maybe Zaz brainwashed him to be loyal to Fish, not Falcone. Maybe Zaz and Falcone and Zaz and Penguin had their own thing that they brainwashed Butch. No, he's brainwashed, but he's that strong of mind.
Right.
That he's breaking through it, and he decides to clip both of them.
Yeah.
To clip both of them, they both go down. He apologizes to Fish. Fish says it's okay. Penguin just bangs.
Yeah. Hits him with a piece of wood.
Hits him with something hard.
Yeah,
that he
a piece
goes
of wood
down
or something.
and he throws Fish over the roof, and she falls into the water. Fish in the water.
Wah, wah.
Yep, we have a pun jar here, and I'm in debt to that pun jar. To those of you joining us on YouTube for the first time, this pun jar has the GDP of a small country.
It's very true. But the point of that is, did she die?
No.
Right?
I don't. Well, I'm getting into my prediction, but no. I don't think Fish Mooney died.
Yeah, that's interesting if they just kind of kept that door open for the possibility of something in the future.
Yeah, that has to be, and there was a lot of stuff with the Ratcatcher and Dollmaker, and
that's true.
All that stuff. There's so much story to be told with Fish that I think they're putting her on a shelf.
Okay,
in their comic book fashion too.
Yeah,
and she's an original character for the series.
Yeah,
that she went away for however long she went away, and she's on the shelf for them to just bring out at the right moment,
at the right time.
And we get this one moment where Penguin climbs to the ledge.
Yeah.
While it's thundering and lightning, and says, "I'm the king of Gotham."
Yeah.
To which I'm like, "But is Butch gonna get up?"
I mean, he knocked him out.
Yeah,
he knocked Butch out.
But Butch is a big dude.
Yeah, you did think he was gonna push him over.
I thought for sure, in my power vacuum theory, that every boss in that room was gonna die except for Falcone, and Falcone was gonna go down to Miami and just be like, "Peace,
and just chill,
just peace, Gotham."
Ain't nobody got time.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
And a true power vacuum where someone else has to rise from so many ashes.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't.
I am too.
I'm glad they didn't. I like that we still have Falcone, that we still have Penguin.
Yes.
I like that.
Falcone also on a shelf.
Yes, also on a shelf. He's going off to tan for a couple.
We can say
weeks.
Falcone, Gordon, Bullock all run into Gordon's house. Some stuff happens that we're going to get to.
Oh, yeah.
But then ultimately, Falcone gives Gordon the knife that saved everyone, and said, this is a really nice knife. It was actually your dad's.
I was not expecting that.
And your dad was the most...
honest.
Gordon's dad was a district attorney.
Yes.
Pretty sure, if not a lawyer who became district attorney.
Right.
And he flat out said, your dad was the most honest man I've ever met.
But he carried a knife.
It was like, well, and what this city needs now, more than ever, is a lawman. And you're that guy, whether you like it or not. He didn't say that. He obviously didn't say whether you like it or not, but it's implied that's like you're...
Yeah. This is what you got to do.
You're the only clean cop in the GCPD. You're the only one who seems to care about this city / have a vision for what the city can be and how to fix it. You're just going to have to issue get off the pot and just like pretty much take control of the whole city.
Yeah.
Like even if, and I mean, he has to take down Commissioner Loeb to do that.
Right.
He has to gather up like the six least dirty cops in the Gotham PD.
Yeah.
And he's like a mid-ranking detective. Like he's not even that high-ranking a homicide detective, I don't think.
No.
So he's got a long ways to go before he's a commissioner.
Especially because he doesn't have a lot of fans.
But his riot act is very clear, which is he has to stabilize the city. And that might mean he has to take down Penguin, but Falcone's out.
Yeah, I think that he would eventually get to that point, but he's not there yet.
And I love the line with Bullock asking, you've any work for some beat up out of work cops?
Right.
Because let's be real, sometimes things change season to season.
That's true.
And you might need to put Bullock on a shelf with Falcone, with Fish, and have Gordon run the GCPD all alone.
I hope that doesn't happen because he needs
I hope so too, but that line leaves you an out if you have to.
That's true. I just hope, like you just said, he needs a couple of good cops.
He needs Bullock.
Exactly. Bullock is like half a good cop. Not a full one, but at times he can come and be helpful.
Yeah. Let's talk about what happened in Gordon's house.
Oh.
Or Barbara's house?
Or Barbara's house? Okay,
Whoa.
Barbara. Let's just talk about Barbara and Lee. Like from the beginning. Because the beginning of the episode, we see that Barbara is basically Lee's patient.
Yes.
Lee is her doctor.
Well, here's the thing. I thought Dr. Leslie was a forensic
I didn't know she was a real doctor. Like,
I knew she was like a real doctor. I didn't know she was the kind of doctor that dealt with actual patients.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like
yeah.
actual... Hey, maybe they're understaffed. Maybe she only wanted to talk.
Picked up a few shifts.
Hey, I'm okay with that. And then it's like, you need to seek trauma counseling. And she's like, no. You need to seek trauma counseling. Only if it's with you, which is the equivalent to having a pediatrician take out your molar. Don't do it.
No, that's how I did it. Is that not normal?
That's not.
All right.
It's not normal.
Yeah.
The
I agree. It was very bizarre.
Black market dentists? Is that how this works?
Right, exactly. It's cheaper. I agree. It was very bizarre. But from the beginning, I was like, Barbara looks a little not real. Like I didn't believe her. I was like, you have something up your sleeve.
Well, yeah, there was something up your sleeve. I don't understand why Dr. Leslie would agree to something like this.
Well, that's because I don't trust her either. From the beginning, I've been like, boo-boo.
From the beginning, no one's that nice.
No one. We're on opposite sides of the table, but remember when we were on one side, we're like, join us. Now join this table.
We are both on the right side of this table.
Yes. There is no other side.
But we don't trust Dr. Leslie's side of the table. Come at us in the comments, bro.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, comments.
Yeah.
So the beginning of every act this episode, we have an increasing difficulty with Dr. Leslie and Barbara talking about Barbara's problems. At first, they're all surface.
Yeah.
Then it's, has Gordon ever hit you?
Right.
To which Dr. Leslie reacts properly of like, what? Why is that even a question? Has Gordon ever hit you while you were together? What is wrong? And then it escalates over tea.
Over some food.
Over tea and cake that neither of them were looking to eat. It looked like
looked like red velvet. It looked real good.
You and I are on the same page with the cake.
Yeah, it was untouched.
It was untouched red velvet cake. We're like, guys.
Yeah, that's not believable. Who doesn't eat red velvet cake when it's in front of them?
Them.
Give me realism. Okay.
Them. That's the realism we're upset about in this scene.
Yes, that's what I'm upset about. But you're right. They're talking, and the questions, like you said, they got weirder and weirder. It was like, I know you're dating Gordon. Has he told you he loves you?
And she said no.
Yeah, she's like, we're not dating. Well, we've been on a few dates. That was like, really?
Well, hey, I think she's withholding that information because that's none of Barbara's business.
It's true, but then that's what she should have said.
But then it's also, has he said I love you? And she's like, no.
Yeah. Didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, she probably
It took a serial killer to make him say I love you.
And yeah.
But I guess she was lying.
Right.
She was lying just because it's none of Barbara's business. But you want to, if you're a pseudo trauma therapist, you want to keep that
separate. Yeah.
Well, but you want to keep an open forum and make them feel like you're telling them the truth, even though it's none of their business. And then we wind up in the huge bombshell.
Yeah,
that Barbara killed her parents.
Reveals, and she says it in detail.
Yep.
She's like, no. She's like, I started telling about my childhood. Then I stabbed them several times, and I slit their throat.
To which we both think back to the way they presented that to us and realize, wait, we only saw corpses.
Yeah.
And then we saw Barbara covered in blood.
Yeah, but we never really saw who killed who.
I think Barbara killed her parents.
I do. It wouldn't shock me. And when I was watching the episode, I thought she's going to kill her parents because she was also kind of like hypnotized. She was like in a trance.
She was wrecked.
Yeah, she was in a complete trance. And so I did think, I was like, I wonder if she's going to kill her parents. But they never showed it. So I kind of lost that thought until watching
And Ogre was
this.
so evil.
Evil,
Ogre,
yeah.
Ogre was
to make
so
her do
evil
that.
the whole way where it's like, but no, like, well, there's no reason Ogre wouldn't slaughter two parents.
It's
like,
true, yeah.
Ogre's killed so many people.
Yeah.
In the 16 years he was allowed to be the ogre.
Right.
That's not unrealistic that he'd just kill for her. Barbara grabs a knife.
Yeah, Shooty has it. It's a giant knife.
Really big knife.
Why is it on the table?
Well, no.
I don't get
Actually,
it.
I think there was a whole red velvet cake.
And then they had just cut the slices.
No, they ate the rest of the red velvet cake.
And that was left?
And those were the 2 slices left that they like couldn't finish.
Oh, I see.
But why was the knife clean? Okay, we're done.
I thought the same
We're
thing.
done.
Okay.
We're done.
Okay.
But she has a giant knife. She has a giant knife. Chases Dr. Leslie. Dr. Leslie runs conceivably past the front door. And then into the bathroom.
Yes.
To which Barbara Keene, Jack Nicholson's herself.
Oh, yeah, that was bizarre.
That I literally, and given the certain level of campiness that this show has sometimes, I was half expecting Barbara Keene to like pop her head through the hole in the door and say something. Or nothing, but like still have the here's Johnny moment.
Yeah.
Here's Batwoman.
Here's Batwoman. Surprise.
And we'd all.
If she would have done that, I don't.
I would have.
We wouldn't be sitting here.
Wow, you would have.
I would just been like, no,
You would have gotten your car and went home?
I'm good. I'm gonna go watch some game that's on TV better or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that was real. I'm glad that
but
she
the
did
way
it.
the way they actually presented this was
good.
Was decent. And
She just went crazy. Like,
yes, I think Ogre strikes me as a trained psychologist now. A trained enough psychologist that he can get in someone's head and change their actions.
I don't want to go too much into predictions, but it wouldn't not shock me if this is all an act. She's pretending to be in a trance.
That Gordon
and
Rector?
to be. No, not that Gordon Rector. It's just that she wants Gordon back, and she's gonna use a sympathy card.
I could see that.
Like, how?
Sounds unlikely now, but we'll get into predictions.
Right.
Leslie, who's scrappy. Dr. Leslie, real scrappy.
Yeah,
eventually
fights
got
happening.
on top of Barbara and like slammed Barbara's head into the floor a bunch
Several
of times. Enough that I was like, oh wait, she's just gonna kill Barbara right now. And the me who has not liked Barbara this whole season is like, maybe she should kill Barbara right now.
He's like, bye.
Maybe Barbara should just die on this floor and we'll finally figure out who owns this apartment.
Ivy comes out.
Someone will own this. Ivy will come out of a closet and
sign the papers.
Is it safe now? I have squatters' rights.
Oh, man. Yeah, I thought she was going to kill her. I thought it was way too much. I was like, isn't that, I don't know, intense? for you, Lee? Like, you should know what kind of damage that could do, not only to your spinal cord, but to your brain.
She's probably in a bit of a rage.
Probably. I guess I would be too if somebody was coming at me with a knife.
Yeah, I would.
Carry on.
But fight or flight.
Yeah. All right. You do you, Lee. I get you.
We still don't trust you.
We still don't trust you, but in that
you.
situation, we get you.
We get
and
you,
then the
Dr.
door
Lee.
opens.
Door opens. Gordon, Falcone.
Bullock.
Falcone, Bullock, from this whole other thing.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, great. Now we have to
Deal with this. Yeah.
like this look of like, oh, great.
And actually, it looks as though, for Gordon's perspective, that Lee has kind of...
Yes, and that does leave the door open.
Yeah.
That does leave the door open for like who does Gordon trust?
Yes.
And Gordon could pick wrong.
Yeah, because she says she goes crazy. She hugs him, and then Bullock makes a comment, and he says something like, "I told him she was crazy."
I told him she was bad news.
She's bad news. Yeah, and that can be interpreted. Are you talking about the one on the ground, or are you talking about the doctor?
That is true. That is true that they leave
so many things
open
to interpretation.
Yeah, they leave an open end there.
Yeah.
Of who does Gordon side with? Does he side with the woman he was with for a long time, or does he side with the Dr. Leslie that you and I don't trust?
Yeah.
I'll keep bringing it up, guys. We do not trust Dr. Leslie.
In case you didn't already get that. Just a little bit.
Oh, man. And everyone in the chat wants us to talk about this next topic. All I'm going to say is if Dr. Leslie has enough pull in the GCPD and Gordon sides with her, she's going to have Barbara locked up, and they're going to reopen the case of Barbara Keane's parents, and they're going to need a pretty good forensics investigator to do that. Problem is, their best forensic investigator is in some trouble.
Yeah, he's also kind of losing his head a little bit.
I think he lost his head.
I mean,
Rightfully so, and this is a slow burn we've been waiting for.
Yeah. I love that entire scene
Yes.
of him in his own head, hearing all these people say, no riddles,
No riddles, you're
Flass
Riddler,
was
you're
somebody
this,
he
that.
heard, Miss Kringle and everybody, and it's just like, it was a really good scene. He's definitely has lost it. You're right. He's not losing it. He's so lost.
He lost
just
his mind.
Yeah.
Second person in this episode to just completely
lost their mind.
lose their mind. And we've pretty much seen him every week
Yes.
slowly devolve into this place.
Yeah, we've seen we've seen the progress for
Yes.
him. And I loved that riddle. That she comes in and she's like, this spells your name. How did she catch that?
I don't. Well, actually, he left the folder that way. Because she left it on the table last week. And then he walked over and then just kind of pulled it out.
Just so you can only see.
Just so we could see it. And then I feel like he left it there.
I do remember that, but I don't remember him leaving it like that. Did he? Probably. That
He
makes
may
more
or
sense.
may not have.
Because nobody would look at that. Nobody would look at the first letters
That
of
was
every
a
sentence.
that was a really deep pull. That
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited that this happened.
Yeah, I hope you're right, though. I hope it is that he left it, because then that would make more sense to me. I hope it wasn't just that, oh, she magically saw that, unless, they have like a connection like that.
I could see either way.
Yeah, which, you kind of cute.
But we get this really cool scene with Nygma, who has been slow burning this whole way. Question for you: does he become Riddler by season 2, episode 1?
No,
No, not a little.
it's just gonna continue on to this, but I don't think it'll be episode 1. I hope
Do you
not.
think he's still in the GCPD episode 1?
Yes.
Okay.
There's no body. That would be a ridiculous jump to move forward so much.
Well, it depends on how forward they move.
Exactly.
Season to season.
Right, that's true. But if we were to, which I hope they don't move too much forward, because I want to know the whole thing with Barbara and Lee.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know a little bit about Falcone, and then I'm hoping that it'll pick up pretty quick to where we are, and there's still no body.
Yeah.
So
There's still no investigation.
So why would he not be there? Unless he takes himself out. Because he's crazy,
That was my thought that he would take himself out. I also feel like he could be the Riddler and
Episode 1.
create the Riddler, but still be the hapless forensics guy.
Well, yeah, but then
have
he's
a Dexter,
becoming
and
the
then have
Riddler.
he could have a Dexter thing where he kills people. He kills people, but then he he covers up the evidence.
Okay.
That's what happened on Dexter, right? I only watched the season with John Lithgow.
Oh, which was
I've heard that's the best season.
It is. It's a good one. Yeah, that is the best one. Yeah, but I mean, that's still technically, he's still transitioning into being the Riddler. Like,
yeah.
even if because I totally agree with you. I think we will start seeing more of it in his work, in his everyday movements. I think we'll see more and more.
I could buy that. He's eventually going to break away from the GCPD and be a mid-level villain.
Yeah.
The question is when.
When.
And I don't think we know. And I actually forgot a pretty big topic.
Which one? Batboy?
Batboy.
Oh, I thought we were just going to leave Batboy.
We're just going to leave that alone.
No. I just thought we were going to talk about Batboy last. So
okay,
it's just like
I just forgot to put it on the board.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Batboy.
I don't think anyone in this chat would have let us.
Yeah, not at all. Batboy, that whole, everything between Bruce and Alfred
was contained. There was also, we could talk about it all at once.
Yeah. So it was good. I liked from the beginning, we knew Alfred was trying to steer him away from investigating, but I hate that we ended with the same preview we've been seeing for 2 weeks based on The Secret.
And at minute 55, we were both saying this.
Yes.
That we're like, wait, so the preview we saw for 2 weeks
is going to be the way it ends.
It's going to be the way you end your whole season?
Oh, no. We get to see some stairs.
We saw some stairs.
And some sounds of
leathery wings flutter. For those of us who have closed captioned, we know exactly what's at the bottom of those stairs. Because leathery wings flutter, which mean they're bats or some type of weird S&M flying machines.
Something.
Okay, they're bats. They're probably bats.
So we do see that. So it's like confirmed.
And hashtag baby bat cave. I saw some people using that.
Love it, baby bat cave.
Hashtag baby bat cave. So let's start at the top with Detective Lil Wayne and Alfred. He's just tearing up his dad's office to look for something. Because Lucius Fox told him that his dad was stoic. Which Joyce predicted properly last week, that's a clue. That's not anything more than a clue.
Right.
That you
especially because that's all he told him.
Yeah. That it's like that was too specific. We eventually find out that stoic would be the none so blind, or the quote was none so blind, which was said by Marcus Aurelius, who was considered a stoic man. He went into the book that relates to Marcus Aurelius, finds a button that turns on a stereo.
Little remote.
Alfred knows, by the way. Like this entire time, Alfred might not know where the remote, like what book the remote is in, but he has to know that there's a cave under the house.
100%.
He just doesn't want Bruce to find it.
Yeah, you could tell he was trying to steer him away from continuing his investigation.
Probably because there's something really dark down there. Well, it's a little bat cave. It's a little bat cave.
Yeah.
And he pushes the button, classical music. And they alluded to all this, and then we see the scene we've seen for I think 3 weeks, we've seen the end credits for this.
Yeah.
Where the fireplace comes out.
Right.
This time we get to see that Bruce and Alfred look down the stairs, leathery wings are fluttering, and that's how we end the entire season.
Yes.
That they're going to go down into this bat cave and find out what Bruce Wayne's dad was up to.
And that is exactly because of that scene. Season 2, episode 1 should be them entering into the cave for the very first time.
You're right.
There's no way you can do a jump because of that
Actually, you're
scene.
right. There is absolutely no way we can do a jump.
If you do, you guys suck.
Speaking of those jumps, it's time for predictions.
Yes.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right, I have a couple predictions here. Please start us off.
All right. So I'm just gonna say Fish is not dead.
That was my first one.
I mean, we knew that.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a pin in her, like you said. She's on a shelf. It's not because she's gonna come back next season. If she does, I would love it. But I don't think that's what it's for. I think it's just the possibility to ever return to her. Same thing with Falcone. I don't think Bullock is gonna go anywhere. You made a prediction that maybe he might go somewhere.
I was saying he could. I don't think he is either.
I don't think so either. I think Gordon needs him because he's half of a good cop. And Gordon needs somebody to help him.
Gordon definitely needs someone there.
Clearly nobody else is on his side yet. My prediction with Penguin. So I don't think we're going to see Falcone for a while, but Penguin is definitely going to try and be king of Gotham. But we're going to start seeing smaller villains come out.
Yes.
And give him the struggle.
Give him struggle
Yes.
or give Gordon struggle?
Both.
Okay.
Both a little bit. Not both. Not that every villain that comes is going to attack both of them, but different villains will give problems to different people.
Got it.
Like Penguin and Gordon.
What do you think's in the Batcave?
I honestly have no clue. I think it's going to be information on Wayne Enterprises.
Yes.
But I don't know what that is. I can't figure it out.
Here's what I think.
What do you think?
I think that the Batcave leads... everything in the Batcave is the secrets about Wayne Enterprises that lead to the fact that the Court of Owls run Wayne Enterprises.
Wow.
And we're having a big slow burn to that. Barbara Keene is going to be found guilty of murder, but criminally insane, and she's going to go to Arkham.
Yep.
That's where we're going to wind up. That's where we're going to wind up by episode 2.
Yeah.
We're going to see Mr. Freeze. We know we're going to see Mr. Freeze. I think Penguin's going to really suck at being king of Gotham.
Oh, 100%.
And Gordon's going to have not an easy time, but he's going to be able to take over.
Yeah,
Or he's going to be able to
to
be a good lawman and take over everything. Thank you all for joining us this entire season. Yeah. If people wanted to tweet at us at any time during this long summer, if you're just watching over the summer, rewatching over the summer, and you have something to tweet at us, where can the people tweet at you?
You guys can tweet me or find me on Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. Where can we find you?
I'm here right now. Okay. Also, I'm on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann, KAUFMANN. I do a lot of shows here, including wrestling pay-per-views every Sunday when they happen. And that's where all it is. Thank you so much for joining us this whole season.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.